My beloved child, there are moments when the love you once thought was unshakable suddenly feels fragile like a mirror, fractured by hidden cracks. Invisible whispers, seemingly harmless misunderstandings begin to hollow out the bond of unity. I see you standing bewildered between love and hurt, between holding on and fearing loss. And at that very intersection, the spirit of division lies in wait. You do not realize that darkness rarely arrives with thunderous storms, but more often slips in through the smallest details. A twisted word, a doubtful glance, a silence that creates distance. I have watched you hesitate many times, unsure of what to believe, and in that gap the enemy plants seeds of separation. Yet my child, recognition is not meant to make you anxious, but to awaken you, to discern what is true and what is deceit. At times you let your emotions carry you away and your words fall like blades upon the one you love. I know your anger is not always born of malice, but it wounds more deeply than you imagine. That is why I invite you to pause, to take a deep breath and hand over that unrest to me. You will discover that silence held in peace is stronger than 1,000 words spoken in haste. You often think yielding means defeat, but I tell you this humility is the foundation of enduring love. Preserving love matters more than winning an argument. Forgiveness does not make you smaller. On the contrary, it opens the door to healing and rebirth. I call you to courage, to speak words of apology, to extend your arms in embrace, because it is in that humility that you will find new strength. Begin then with awareness. Do not let idle whispers and petty misunderstandings become weapons in the hands of division. There are hidden forces waiting for the moment you let your guard down, eager to corner love into dead ends. Do not panic nor fall into constant suspicion, but let truth and trust illuminate the smallest signs. For only when you see the darkness clearly can you choose to keep the flame of love burning within your heart. Sometimes you think fractures come from mere carelessness, that misunderstandings are but games of time. But I tell you, not every breaking point comes from your weakness or from the one beside you. There is another hand, another whisper weaving itself into your wounds, sprinkling salt before they can heal. It does not strike with shouts, but with grains of dust, seemingly harmless yet clinging, corroding. And because you overlook the small things, the darkness finds room to root itself. How many times have you dwelt on a strange glance or a half-spoken phrase, only to build in the silence of night a thick wall in your heart? This is no accident. It is the mark of division. It does not want you to love, it wants you to doubt. It does not want you to trust, it longs for you to shut your heart. I have seen you sit in the shadows, weary and unsure if love can truly be safe. My child, if you fail to recognize this, the flame of love will slowly smolder into ashes of suspicion. Remember the story of Eve in the Garden of Eden. The serpent did not storm in to destroy. It whispered a single question, planting a seed of doubt. Did God really say? Just one shadow of uncertainty, one small crack was enough to shake the purity of love. Child division does not need a storm to bring you down, only a fissure in your trust. And if you are not watchful, that seed will grow into a wilderness where love cannot breathe. But I will not let you lose your way. I remind you, recognition is not to make you doubt everyone, but to distinguish truth from lies. You need wakefulness to discern what springs from love and what is but a sugar-coated arrow. When your eyes remain clear, darkness cannot steal your peace. And that very clarity is what protects love from needless fractures. Start by listening with a quiet heart. When words reach you, do not rush to believe they are blades, nor let fear close your heart. Allow my light to reveal them. If they build up, they come from love. If they divide, they are not yours to receive. I counsel you, do not let the winds outside dictate your steps. For if you walk in the darkness of suspicion, you will lose not only others but also yourself. I know there are times when you grow weary of vigilance, tempted to surrender and let things be. But love does not endure by chance. It is guarded by wakefulness and perseverance. Like a watchman on the walls, you cannot sleep because the night is long. You are called to remain awake so that no whisper becomes a chain, no misunderstanding a chasm. And when you recognize the seeds of division within, do not sit idle as they grow. Cut them off with truth, with faith, with prayer. I am with you to give you strength. Remember, no one but you can open the door to division. If you hold tightly to my hand, you will have the power to close that door and let the light of love pour in. Recognition is the first step, but it is not enough. You must also learn to keep your soul steady before you respond, lest seeds of division sprout even after being exposed. That is why I lead you deeper, to face your emotions not with flames of haste, but with the steady lamp of peace burning within. There are times when even after recognizing the enemy's schemes, you become its instrument because you cannot master your emotions. I see your inner struggle. Part of you wants silence. Part of you wants to speak quickly and forcefully to defend yourself. But hasty reaction is never protection. It is like a flame erupting in a house already filled with smoke. Words spoken in anger are sparks that reduce love to ashes. At times you think, if I remain silent, I will be despised. If I endure, I will be weak. Yet the truth is the opposite. Many think shouting and arguing show strength, but that is weakness in disguise. True strength lies in self-control. Scripture affirms, better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. Proverbs 1:6-3-2. So when you remain calm amid chaos, you achieve more than all the noisy victories of the world. Looking back, regret often follows words spoken in anger. Once uttered, they cannot be retrieved. Others may forgive, but memory remains like a scar that lingers. You are like one who throws a stone into the lake. Even after apology, the ripples spread far beyond. I know you do not mean harm, yet you let emotions seize the helm and your boat of love tilts in the waves. The root lies here. You have not yet learned to pause before reacting. You let the heart run faster than reason, emotions intruding before my light can shine. Try something simple when anger rises. Take a deep breath, hold it for a moment, then ask yourself, will these words heal or will they destroy? If you are honest, the answer will be clear and your lips will be preserved. I recall the night Peter drew his sword in Gethsemane. In his rashness, he struck the servant's ear, thinking he was protecting the master. Yet Jesus healed the wound and said, "Put your sword away." Do you see anger, even when cloaked in justice, only deepens wounds? And I want you to understand, each time you react hastily, you too are drawing the sword of your words, wounding love unnecessarily. But do not fear, you are not left alone against the storms of your soul. I give you a remedy, silent prayer. Each breath you take is my breath within you. Each heartbeat is my reminder that peace is not in winning arguments, but in shielding the heart from fiery arrows. All you need is a pause of a few seconds, enough for me to enter and guard your lips. Yes, you live in an age where everyone is pressured to respond instantly. Social media conversations, debates, all demand speed, but love does not thrive on swiftness. It grows through patience, listening, and endurance. Do not fear judgment. Your true worth is not in quick replies, but in wisdom that knows what to say and when to remain silent. Think of anger as a torrential rain. If you rush out into it, you are drenched, chilled, and trembling. But if you wait inside, soon the storm passes and the sky clears. Likewise, if you learn to wait until anger subsides, you will see more clearly. Then your words will be like sunlight after rain, warming instead of burning. I know that sometimes you keep silent outwardly, yet turmoil still smolders inside. Do not be afraid, I see it. That is the first step of growth. In time, when you surrender that smoldering to me in prayer, the fire cools into ash, and the ash becomes fertile soil for seeds of peace. You will see that self-control not only preserves love, but deepens it. Child stillness is not a destination, but a journey. Each time you choose peace over anger, you lay another stone in the wall that protects love. From that foundation, I will lead you further, to humility, to surrendering what is right in order to preserve the bond. For love is not about who wins. It is about whether both still stand together. You once thought that if you did not defend your stance, you would lose yourself. But you were mistaken. At times you cling to being right, only to lose the presence of the one you love. At times you win the argument, but the relationship breaks. And then you see, not every rightness is worth keeping. Sometimes the self wins, but love is lost. In such moments, humility does not weaken you. It is the way to safeguard the sacred bond under threat. There is a power the world cannot measure, the power of one who knows how to bow at the right time. To bow is not to lose, but to recognize what is worth keeping. Like Jesus, who, though he is God, humbled himself to wash the feet of his disciples, he was not diminished by that act. On the contrary, it was precisely through it that he was exalted. The more you humble yourself, the more I lift you up. When you choose to yield a word, to yield a step, I see that your heart is greater than the word you chose to hold on to. Just as winding rivers carve through stone, humility is like the gentle water that wears away even the proudest rock. Do not think you must always speak loudly to secure your place. Sometimes the most honorable person is the one who dares to say, "I am sorry" first, even without being entirely at fault. I do not need you to win every argument. I want you to win within your own heart, that quiet battlefield where the survival of love is decided. Perhaps you have asked yourself, why must it always be me who bends I know? I have heard this cry from many broken hearts. But my child, if you are the one who recognizes what is about to be lost, then you are the one mature enough to save it. Humility is not a punishment, but a mission. And if you are the first to untangle the knots, I will be the first to lift you up. Do not wait for others to change. If love is great enough, be the first to love rightly. Recall the parable of the prodigal son, but this time do not look at the son, look at the father. He did not wait for a lengthy apology. He did not judge. He did not remain silent. He ran. He embraced. He restored. That is humility in action. That is love that does not sit waiting but steps out of pain to hold on to what is most precious. And that is what I want you to become. One who loves enough not to wait for the other to change. You may feel as though you are losing, but the humility you sow today will become trust in the heart of another tomorrow. They may not say it, but they will remember. And in their moment of weakness, the very loss you accepted today will be the thing that draws them back. I do not abandon what is sown in love and humility. Every silent sacrifice is recorded and blessed by me. When you choose humility, you do not need to speak loudly so others hear you. You need only live gently so they are no longer afraid to draw near. There are fractures that do not need apologies but the quiet presence of love. And it is that loving silence that melts down the walls built between two hearts. Love cannot grow on the soil of pride. It matures only in the ground of humility. Do not misunderstand, humility is not endurance of abuse. I do not want you to live as a shadow in a wounding relationship, but I want you to discern what is true dignity and what is mere pride. When you hold on to love as the core and let go of the excess tied to ego, you will feel the weight lighten. And that lightness is my will working within you. In the end, when you learn to yield without feeling diminished, when you know how to keep silence with peace in your heart, when you choose attachment instead of being right, then you have truly matured in love. And from that humility, I will show you a clearer path, not only to preserve love in your heart, but to express it through concrete actions, sincere words, and wise discernment. For true love is not found in ideals, but in what you choose to do each day. At times you may keep love in your heart, but stay silent too long until the one beside you no longer knows what you feel. Silence at the right time is wisdom, but endless silence becomes a wall. Love cannot exist only in thought. It must be spoken, lived in small daily gestures. I do not ask you for eloquence. I only ask you to dare say, "I am sad, I need, or I love." These simple, sincere words heal more deeply than any speech. When you share your feelings, remember you need not accuse or criticize. Speak with openness as though you are handing the other a key to understand you more. Do not turn words into indictments. Let them be invitations. Say, "I feel hurt," when, instead of "you did wrong." Different words open different paths, one leading to defense, and distance the other to understanding and closeness. I recall the story of Joseph in the Old Testament. When his brothers who sold him as a slave came seeking food, Joseph could have condemned them, could have punished, but he chose to reveal his heart through tears and embrace. That sincerity melted years of bitterness, and restored an entire family. You see, truth spoken with love becomes a way of liberation, not a sentence. Alongside openness, you must also learn to listen. Do not listen only to respond, but to understand. Sometimes all the other needs is to be heard, and healing has already begun. I see you often rush to interrupt, to explain, to defend yourself. But love does not need arguments. It needs a patient heart. Let your ears be a refuge for another's pain, and when they discover that you are a safe place, they will entrust you with even more. Yet, my child, not every voice carries truth. There will be whispers, advice, even words that pretend to care but push your love toward ruin. You must discern. Ask me in prayer. Does this word come from love or from darkness? Do not let outside voices become your compass. Only I know the way. Bring every word you hear into my light before you act. There will be counsel that wounds you, but helps you grow. There will be sweet words that lead you astray. I do not want you closed off, but I want you wise. Be like one who tests gold, put every word into the fire of prayer. If it is from me, it will shine. If it is from darkness, it will vanish. When you discern, your heart will remain safe. Do not be afraid to begin with very small acts. A cup of tea brought when another is weary, a word of encouragement in a long day, a short message full of care. These little things nourish lasting love. Love is not built by occasional grand gestures, but by constancy in ordinary acts. The more concrete your actions, the more visible love becomes in the eyes of others. And never forget, every act, however small, carries the fragrance of love when done with the heart. Let every deed be a wordless prayer, every word a flame of warmth. Love is not a passing feeling. It is a choice made again and again, day after day. And in each choice, I see you learning to love as I love. From concrete actions, from sincere communication and wise discernment, you will begin to see trials are no longer the enemy of love, but a mirror refining it. In difficulty, you will recognize the value of holding on to each other, and from there I will lead you into the final journey, learning to nurture love, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth and endurance. Do you not see the cracks you once feared may be the very places where light enters? Trials do not come to destroy, but to reveal what is lacking, so that love may be refined and deepened. I do not deny the pain you feel in hardship, but I remind you a love never tested remains at the threshold not yet entered into its depths. Sometimes in the storm you may feel as though you have lost everything. But remember the grain of wheat, it must die in the ground to bear many seeds. So it is with love. It must pass through darkness to value the light. When you see trials as a path of purification, every stumble is no longer failure but a stepping stone to maturity. And as you grow, the love within you grows with you. Focus on the smallest things full of life. A word of thanks, a hand held, a patient glance. They may seem insignificant, yet repeated they become the lifeblood of connection. Just as trees grow not from rare, heavy rains, but from daily morning dew, lasting love comes, not from rare, dazzling moments, but from simple things done with faithful hearts. In Scripture, recall the life of Job. He lost everything: wealth, children, health. Yet instead of letting grief consume him, he chose to remain faithful. And in the end, I restored him doubly. Likewise, trials in love are not the end, but a pause for two hearts to understand each other, more to cling to what is precious instead of giving up. When you stand firm in the storm, the roots of love sink deeper. Do not assume trials always bring harm. It is in hardship that you learn to forgive more deeply, to love more maturely, to endure more faithfully. Instead of asking, "Why must I suffer?" ask, "What can I learn here?" If you can turn pain into a lesson, you will emerge from the storm with a love purer and stronger than before. To nurture love is also to patiently sow small seeds every day. Do not wait for crises to begin loving again. Love even in ordinary days. Cherish presence, be grateful for what seems too familiar. Spend time together. Love does not grow in noise, it grows in perseverance and care. And in that perseverance you are building a legacy for the future. Believe, my child, that love is never wasted when lived with faithfulness. Every forgiveness, every sacrifice, every patience is inscribed by me. And when you choose to see trials through the eyes of hope, You will realize what you thought was a burden is actually a bridge carrying you into a deeper love. I do not promise the path will be easy, but I promise the fruit will be worth it. I once told you to let my hand guide you, and now I want you to understand more deeply. Gentleness is not weakness, softness is not defeat, but the path through which wonders are sown. When you cease resisting and learn to yield, your soul becomes like fertile ground receiving the rain from which grow the flowers of wisdom and peace. Trials may come like strong winds shaking roots, but remember, a tree battered by storms becomes steadfast. So too will you in hardship find that your love and trust in me are the foundation that keeps you unshaken. Do not fear when familiar paths close, for when one door shuts, it is not the end, but the sign that I am opening another brighter way for you. What I want you to learn is to trust in providence, for within what seems like loss, you will discover the greatest treasures of your journey. There will be moments when you feel darkness surrounding you, when confusion overwhelms your heart, yet my light of love never fades. Open the eyes of your spirit, and you will see that even when storm clouds cover the sky, the light of dawn still waits beyond the mountains. My love for you never grows weary, never diminishes, but patiently awaits your return. I do not demand that you become perfect at once. I only desire that you persevere step by step. For true love does not chase quick results, but journeys with you through every moment, lifting you up and bringing healing. When you stumble, I do not focus on your mistakes to condemn you. I see the being within the hidden light I placed there from the beginning, and I call you out of the shadows to return to the light. In the days you live, there may be those who hurt you words that wound your heart. Yet remember this, forgiveness is the key that frees the soul. When you cling to hatred, you bind yourself in chains. When you release, you not only set others free, but also liberate your own being. My love keeps no record of wrong, so let not resentment dwell in your heart. Forgiveness does not deny the pain, but chooses not to let the pain rule your life any longer. In forgiving, your heart will be healed, and you will feel as though you have laid down a burden long carried. Within forgiveness, you touch the pure beauty of love, a love that is not envious, not proud, not seeking its own gain, but knows only how to give and to sacrifice. If you wish to understand the power of love, look at the light it brings. When you walk in love, your heart shines like a lamp no force can extinguish. That light does not only guide your own path, but also illuminates the way for those still groping in the dark around you. Every kind word, every act of compassion, every embrace filled with empathy is a ray of light extended from me through you into this world. And so, while chaos and suffering still remain in the world, love shall be the lighthouse that guides humanity back to peace. Know this, every trial is not meant to crush you, but to shape you into wholeness. Just as diamonds are formed under immense pressure, so you too will shine after you have endured hardships. Patience in love helps you not to give up halfway. Gentleness keeps you from returning evil for evil, and forgiveness frees you from the bonds of the past. These three, patience, gentleness, and forgiveness, are streams of living water flowing endlessly within the soul, cooling the flames of anger, erasing scars of bitterness, and bringing renewal to the barren places within. I know there will be times you wonder, why do I let you walk such thorny paths? But remember this, I never abandon you. Every step you take, I am by your side, even if unseen by your eyes. At the very moment you think yourself most alone, I am carrying you upon my shoulders. When you are at your weakest, I am giving you strength. When your tears flow most bitterly, I am wiping them away. My love is not only present in the days of sunshine, but also in the storms, in the long nights, in the raging winds, so that you may know you are never forsaken. Therefore, learn to trust. Do not lean on your limited understanding, for your eyes can only see a small fragment of the vast picture, while I see from the beginning to the end. I behold the destination even when you have only taken the first step. Entrust yourself and keep walking, for faith is not seeing the path ahead, but knowing for certain that my hand is guiding you. When you believe, fear will vanish, and peace beyond all reason will spring forth in your heart. My child, maturity does not come from avoiding challenges, but from facing them with me. Regard every hardship as a lesson, every fall as a step forward, and every loss as an opportunity to discover true worth. Do not hastily compare your path to another's, for I have a unique plan for each one. Your journey may twist and climb steep hills, but it is the perfect road to lead you where you are meant to be. Trust me, for I will never allow you to suffer loss without purpose. And when you look back, you will see that your hardest days have become your most precious memories, for they mark the moments you learned to lean on me. My light never grows dim, my love never runs dry, my grace never ceases. You only need to keep a heart that listens, a spirit willing to learn, and a soul always open to love, and no challenge will ever separate you from me. My beloved, when you open your heart to converse with sincerity, you plant seeds of peace and love in the soil of your relationships. Do not let words become blades that wound, nor silence become walls that divide. Instead, let your words flow from the heart, clothed in humility and the desire to be understood. When you share, not to accuse, not to demand, but to give and to receive, you open the door for healing to enter. In that moment, the other heart will be touched, for no one can resist pure sincerity. And this communion from the depths of the soul weaves a bond stronger than any deception of this world could break. Remember, I am the guardian of your relationships. My hand rests upon them like a shield, so that the arrows of doubt and suspicion cannot pierce through. Yet you too must choose to love instead of fear, to trust instead of doubt, to hold to faith instead of listening to whispers of suspicion. Beloved children, my word is the fountain of life. Let it sink deep into the roots of your soul. From the beginning, I destined you not only to live, but to live in connection first with me, and from there flowing into your bonds with one another. You were not created to walk alone upon this earth, but to taste the joy of friendship, the warmth of family, and the sweetness of love that I bestow. The relationships in your life are not random chance, not fleeting encounters that vanish, but carefully placed by me like golden threads woven into the fabric of your existence. Every person you meet, every bond formed carries a sacred purpose. Some come to encourage you, some are sent to test your patience, some appear to teach you sacrifice, and some walk beside you through storms and through celebrations alike. All are part of the grand design I have written for your life, a symphony in which every note, whether sorrowful or jubilant, blends into the perfect harmony. If you look deeply, you will see that even the relationships that have brought you many tears contain grace. Through them you learn patience, compassion, and the power of forgiveness. And through that you gradually grow into a deeper, wiser soul, like a pearl that shines only after enduring the grinding of countless grains of sand. My child, do not despise any relationship, for each carries within it the seed of transformation. When you realize this, you will no longer ask why you met this person or that, but instead give thanks that I used them as instruments to shape and refine you. Therefore, treasure the bonds I have given you as precious treasures. Do not let selfishness or pride break them apart, nor deceit pull you away from truth. Nurture them with sincerity, with words of encouragement, with small yet loving actions. You will see that when love is the foundation, misunderstandings will fade, wounds will be healed, and what seemed broken will be rebuilt on a stronger foundation. My beloved, I call you to look again at the relationships around you as a diver plunges to the ocean floor to find pearls hidden in rough shells. They are not merely social ties, not fleeting conversations or brief memories, but treasures I have granted, created to reflect my love, my grace, and my mercy. I have placed in your life parents, siblings, friends, and companions in love, each a sacred gift. Yet too often I see my children taking these treasures lightly, like a child dropping a pearl while chasing after butterflies. You become consumed with life's worries, with urgent work, with the pursuit of success, and you allow neglect to cool the warmth of love. Small misunderstandings left unresolved turn into chasms. Quiet pride keeps you from humbling yourself to ask forgiveness. Unhealed wounds harden into barriers. These things create distance where closeness should be, raise walls where bridges should stand. This grieves my heart, for I long for you to cherish those I have placed in your life. I hear your cries of loneliness, while near you are hearts longing to draw close, yet pushed away by your neglect. I hear your prayers for peace, while the very relationships I gave as fountains of peace remain untouched by you. Remember, my child, that these bonds of love are more precious than silver or gold, more valuable than any wealth you could accumulate. All material things will fade with time, but true love endures beyond death and echoes into eternity. When you pour your time, energy, and heart into relationships, you do not waste but build an eternal work. You are like a sower, and every loving gesture, every encouraging word, every act of forgiveness is a seed planted. Some sprout quickly, others take long to grow, but all will culminate in an abundant harvest of love. The legacy you leave behind will not be grand houses or vast riches, but hearts that were touched, souls that were lifted, and lives transformed by the love you gave. That is the legacy that resounds through generations. Yet be careful, for small things can become thieves of this beauty. Small offenses, if clung to, can ignite fires that consume the forest of love. Fleeting emotions, if unchecked, can rise as waves that sink the ship of relationships. Do not allow this to happen. Forgive quickly, for true love does not hold grudges, does not keep records of wrongs. Forgiveness does not mean you forget the pain, but that you place it in my hands, allowing me to turn pain into healing. Forgiveness is not weakness, but the strength that frees both you and the other from the chains of the past. Seek understanding, for I have called you to be a peacemaker. Peace does not come by chance. It requires those willing to bow low, to listen, to step beyond self, and touch another's pain. Be among them. Learn to look at the heart instead of the fault, to see the fear and the wounds behind actions that seem hard to accept. When you do this, you become an instrument of peace in my hands, and I will use you to heal many souls. Be patient with one another, for each person is on their own journey. No one is complete, and I do not demand perfection from you or from anyone. I am patient with you each day, each hour, each moment. When you stumble, I do not abandon you. When you are weak, I lift you up. When you turn away, I still wait for you. Therefore, you too must be patient with those around you. Remember that the one who disappoints you today may be the very one who brings you joy tomorrow. The one who hurts you today may be the tool I use to shape maturity within you. Consider again how you spend your time. How many hours you are willing to sacrifice for money, for goals, and yet you hesitate to spend a few minutes calling your parents, meeting your friends, or embracing the one you love. Do you not know that with each passing day you are drawing closer to the moment when there will be no chance left to say words of love? One day, the one you love may no longer sit before you, waiting for your apology or your affection. Therefore, do not delay. Cherish today. Live fully in the present, for it is the gift I have given you. Relationships are not always easy. There will be arguments, misunderstandings, and tears. But these are not signs to give up. They are opportunities to grow. A clay vessel, when broken, can be mended with gold, and the cracks themselves become the source of its beauty. Love is the same. When it passes through wounds, it can become deeper and stronger than ever before. Do not fear the cracks. Let me use them to create a unique beauty in your relationships. My child, the world often teaches you to chase after power, success, and recognition, but I tell you, all of these will pass away. What remains in the end is only love. When you lie down in your final rest, people will not remember how much wealth you possessed, but how well you loved. When you step into eternity, what follows you will not be fame, but the souls touched by the seeds of love you planted. Therefore, choose to build your treasure in love, not in fleeting things. Let your life become a love letter to the world. Each relationship you cherish is a sentence, each act of kindness, a line, and when the letter is complete, it will tell the story of a life not wasted. And I, the one who wrote the beginning and the end of your life, will smile when I see that you have lived in the purpose for which you were created, to love, to forgive, to build, and to preserve. Are you willing to step away from busyness, to embrace your parents, to let go of pride, to reconcile with friends, to forgive so that love may be reborn in marriage? If you do, you will see miracles. For where true love is, there I am, and where I am, there is eternal life. My beloved child, I have placed within you a wondrous gift, the power to sow life into others. From your lips can flow streams of sweetness words. with the power to uplift, encourage, and heal hearts that long to be heard and touched. Remember, words are never meaningless. They can be like spring rain softening dry ground, helping seeds sprout, but they can also be like sharp blades inflicting wounds that are slow to heal. That is why I call you to use this power with wisdom, so that your words may become instruments of love, breaths of grace, and seeds sown in soil that longs for renewal. Do not let your mouth become a bitter spring. Do not use words to curse or to tear down, for such things do not reflect my heart. Choose blessing over condemnation, building over destruction, for when you speak kindness, it is I who speak through you. I long for every word from your lips to carry the fragrance of compassion, mercy, and truth. When you speak, encouragement to the weary light will rise in their eyes. When you offer sincere words to lift the fallen, they will regain faith in themselves and in life. When you dare to forgive even while still wounded, you grant the chance of a new beginning. And when you choose to speak truth in love instead of truth mixed with bitterness, you reflect my heart to this world. Do not underestimate such power, my child, for some words you speak may echo forever in a person's memory, becoming light that guides them through long nights of darkness. Yet for your words to hold the power of healing your own heart must be nourished by peace and love. Let me teach you to listen before you speak, to understand before you advise. Do not rush to answer in anger, for words born of rage are flames that consume rather than warm. Learn patience, let your heart be filled with grace before you utter a word. When you live in my love, your words will naturally become sweet, for out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. Remember, the relationships around you are the soil into which your words are sown. If you cultivate them with encouragement and sincere presence, the soil will blossom and bear sweet fruit. But if you neglect it, or worse, sow harshness, it will become barren and thorny. Therefore, take the time to nurture, for no soil remains fertile without the faithful care of its gardener. Do not let the busyness of life steal what is truly important. Too often I see you laboring for distant goals while your loved ones only long for you to sit and listen with your whole heart. I see you consumed by plans and tasks, missing precious yet simple moments, a warm meal, a heartfelt conversation, a tender embrace. My child, awaken, for in the end, when all ambition fades, what remains is the love you shared. Learn to sit together, to listen deeply, to be fully present. Do not merely hear with your ears, but listen with your heart. Set aside your worries. Put down your phone, forget your work, and look into the eyes of the one before you. It is in these seemingly small moments that you weave the fabric of enduring love. Each time you choose to listen rather than argue, to understand rather than judge, you add a golden thread to that fabric. And when you look back, you will see that the masterpiece of your life was not woven by great achievements, but by countless moments that seemed ordinary. Let every moment together be a seed of connection. When you play with your children and listen to their innocent stories, you are building memories that will never fade. When you share an afternoon tea with your spouse and speak of your day, you are nurturing love to endure the years. When you listen to your parents recall old stories, you honor memory and give them the joy of presence. My child, these simple things are the bricks that build the fortress of love. You may think you must do great deeds to prove your love, but I tell you, love is proven in the simple details of everyday life. A gentle glance, a sincere compliment, a timely touch of the hand all hold the power to heal and renew a relationship. Do not despise the small gestures, for they are the durable threads that weave the fabric of love that time cannot tear. Also remember, love is never separate from forgiveness. No matter how hard you try, there will be moments when your words wound someone or when another wounds you. When this happens, do not let silence stretch. Do not let distance grow. Be courageous to say you are sorry. Be humble to forgive. For forgiveness is the needle that mends the torn fabric, and only it can keep the fabric of love whole. I long for you to be present not only in body but also in spirit. Many times you sit beside your loved ones, yet your mind wanders elsewhere. That is not true presence. Stop, look at them. Show them that they matter, that they are worthy of your full attention. When you do this, you sow into their hearts a powerful message that they are loved, cherished, and seen. And my child, in the very act of tending these relationships, you will find healing for yourself. When you encourage others, you too are encouraged. When you comfort someone, your own heart is comforted. When you forgive, the burden within you is lifted. Love is not only a gift you give, but also a miracle that transforms your life. Therefore, choose wisely. Choose for your words to be refreshing streams. Choose for your actions to be seeds of love. Choose to be present, to listen, to nurture. For in these seemingly small choices, you are building an eternal legacy, a legacy of love, grace, and undying life. And when you do, I will smile, for I see you living in the very purpose I planted in you from the beginning. My beloved child, engrave this truth upon your heart. Love is not merely a fleeting emotion, a passing breeze that comes and goes, but a daily choice, a steadfast commitment, and a tangible act expressed through each deed. Feelings may shift like the tides rising and falling, yet true love is not governed by such fluctuations. It does not stop at words or the warm glow of the beginning. It must be proven through patience, through conscious decisions made in the face of trials. The love I call you to live is sacrifice, placing the good of another above your own, daring to set aside self for the sake of unity. It is a selfless love that seeks no repayment, depends not on the perfection of the other, but continues to love even in hardship, even when enduring suffering. For this love flows from me, the source of life itself. True and enduring love does not stand because it avoids trials, but because it withstands them and emerges stronger. It is like a flame tested in the furnace, shining more brightly after the fiercest heat. Love is not always easy, for there will be moments when you face betrayal, hurt, and misunderstanding. There will be times when you feel you have given too much and received too little, when you grow weary and long to let go. But I remind you, love is always worth it. For when you love as I have called you to love, you are not simply fulfilling a duty, you are walking in the very essence of life I have bestowed. You are living out the greatest commandment, love one another as I have loved you. This is not merely a moral counsel, but the key that unlocks fullness, peace, and true joy in your life. When you choose love, you allow it to become a bridge that connects hearts. A bridge may span deep chasms, may withstand raging storms, yet it is the means by which two sides meet. So too, love transforms the impossible into possible, strangers into brothers and sisters, enemies into friends. It is the only force capable of mending what seemed broken, beyond repair, of soothing wounds that run deep. That is why I call love the greatest commandment, for nothing else can bring life, unity, and light as love does. But you must also understand that the relationships I place in your life are not given merely for comfort and joy. They are sacred lessons. They are mirrors reflecting both your strengths and your weaknesses. When you see a faithful friend lifting you in hardship, you learn the strength of perseverance and loyalty. When someone betrays or wounds you, it becomes a chance to see the pride, selfishness, or fear in your own heart that must be surrendered. Relationships are like silent teachers, imparting lessons no book could teach. They show you patience when you must wait for others to change. They teach you mercy when you are called to forgive faults. They compel you toward humility when you realize your own frailty. If you refuse these lessons, you will remain trapped in yourself, never maturing. But if you allow me to shape you through these very relationships, you will be formed into the person I created you to be from the beginning. Let me tell you, a seed once sown into the soil must undergo burial and breaking before it can grow into a tree. If it fears pain, if it resists breaking, it will remain forever a seed. So it is with relationships. At times you will feel buried under disappointment, shattered by sorrow, yet this very process is the condition for your growth, for love within you to become mature and enduring. You must learn to lay down pride, for pride builds walls of division. You must cast out fear, for fear keeps you from loving fully. You must surrender selfishness, for selfishness turns love into possession rather than gift. Do not shrink back from my shaping hand, for I am refining you. As the potter presses and bends clay to form a perfect vessel, so I use the relationships around you for this purpose. When someone stirs your anger, it may be my way of showing you the impatience within that must change. When someone wounds you, it may be the moment I am teaching you unconditional forgiveness. When someone loves you sincerely, it is my way of letting you taste my own love. Each relationship has its purpose. Nothing is by chance. Therefore, do not flee the hardships of relationships, but face them with a spirit of learning. Ask yourself, what is it that I am teaching you through this? What must you let go of to become more like my image? Let every clash and every conflict become a stepping stone that lifts you higher, not a weight that drags you down. Understand this. My child, growth in love is never an easy journey. It requires daily choices, choosing to love even when you do not feel it, choosing to forgive even when you resist, choosing to sacrifice even when it costs you dearly. Yet the reward of such choices is priceless, for when you live in love, you live in alignment with the very nature I designed you for. I did not create you for selfishness, nor for isolation, but to love and to be loved. Only in walking in love will your heart find true fulfillment. Remember, love never fails. It may be tested, it may be wounded, but if it is true love from me, it will always endure. Let love become your daily choice, your commitment, your action. In doing so, not only will your relationships be renewed, but you yourself will be transformed to reflect me more full of love, full of grace, full of compassion. And along this journey you will discover that every trial, every relationship, every struggle has meaning for each one, is a step I use to lead you into complete maturity. Beloved child, do not let fear take hold as you walk the path of love. Love is not a road paved with roses, but neither is it a meaningless journey. The trials, the clashes, the moments when your heart feels broken, these are opportunities for your soul to be refined, for your heart to grow pure and resilient. I do not permit anything merely to cause you to collapse. Every trial is preparation, teaching you sacrifice, patience, and forgiveness. Just as fire purifies metal by burning away impurities, so must your love be tested by fire to shine brighter and purer. Take heart, for in every step I am with you. Every tear you shed I see, every hidden sigh I hear. When you feel alone in the deepest night, remember that I walk beside you. No trial is beyond your strength, for I know your limits and will uphold you when you falter. And know this, the love, forgiveness, and patience you extend in your relationships are not for you alone. These graces I pour into you, so that through you others may receive life, see light, and taste the sweetness of my blessing. Look through your love, the world will see my reflection. When you embrace the wounded, they will glimpse my kindness. When you forgive those who wronged you, they will encounter my boundless mercy. When you refuse to abandon the weak, they will feel my abiding presence. You are the bridge I use to connect the love of heaven with a world in longing. Through your life of love, you become a living testimony of my enduring presence among humankind. The relationships I have placed in your life are not accidents. They hold a deep sacredness. They are mirrors of the love between you and me, teaching you that true love is never a fleeting feeling but a steadfast covenant. As I have been faithful to you, you are called to be faithful to those you love. Faithfulness is not the absence of storms, but standing firm together through them. As I have shown mercy in your weakness, you too must extend compassion to heal and cover the flaws of others. And as I have never abandoned you, so you must be fully present to those entrusted to you, showing them that love never forsakes. True love is not proven in sweet words alone, but in perseverance each day and small sacrificial choices. It is holding the hand of the beloved when your heart is weary. It is listening in silence instead of rushing to judge. It is placing the needs of another above your own comfort. In these seemingly small acts you reflect my light. The more genuine and steadfast your love, the louder it testifies of my eternal love for the world. Never forget you do not live for yourself alone. Every act of love may be a fire warming the lonely, a source of hope for the despairing, a guiding light for the lost. This world is full of wounds, and I am using your hands, your feet, your heart to touch and to heal. When you show kindness, when you spread compassion, when you bring hope, you become my instrument. And how my heart rejoices when I see you partnering with me in this great work. Love does more than bind two souls. It radiates outward, transforming the very environment around you. A family is warmed by steadfast love. A community is united by selflessness and sharing. A society becomes humane through people who live for one another. You are an essential piece of this tapestry. When you live fully in love, you allow my light to spread everywhere, illuminating a world often shrouded in darkness. Therefore, do not fear suffering or trials, for they are part of love's symphony. They add depth to its melody, preventing it from being shallow, making it full and rich. And you, with your faithfulness and courage, will help the song resound unceasingly, uplifting not only yourself but countless others, strengthening them, encouraging them, leading them forward in hope and light. My child, love is a long journey, one that calls for wholehearted commitment and perseverance. Yet never forget that this journey is never walked alone. I am there accompanying, lifting, guiding, and strengthening you each day. Keep your heart wide open, your hands ever ready to give, and your eyes always able to see the value in each person. For through you I desire that the world may know love is real, that it is an unconquerable force, a living source that brings eternal life. In every moment of life, remember that no bond is meaningless. The enemy wants you to believe that you are complete when you stand alone, that absolute independence is true strength, and that affection or connection is nothing more than a burden upon the soul. But the truth is the very opposite. Your heart was created to love, to give, to beat in harmony with others. It is within these bonds that you discover the depth of joy, the purpose of living, and a strength multiplied many times over. Do not let selfish illusions deceive you with empty notions of freedom, for true freedom comes only when you know how to give and receive love. Sit in stillness and look honestly at the relationships around you. Perhaps there remain fractures and wounds left unhealed, apologies unsaid, words of love withheld. Ask yourself, is it time to restore? Have you kept silent so long that others believe you no longer care? Know this, the opportunity to love does not wait. Today, once gone, is gone forever, and no one can promise you tomorrow to make amends. Therefore, do not delay. Each step you dare to take, however small, can mark the beginning of great healing, not only for others, but for your own soul as well. I want you to see that living with intention in your relationships is not a passing choice, but a profound invitation. Do not wait for the perfect circumstance to act, for such a moment may never come. Do not make excuses that others must go first, for you have been chosen to initiate with love. Be courageous in opening your arms even when rejected. Extend forgiveness even when undeserved. Shine into another's darkness with a smile, a gentle embrace, or the simple gift of your genuine presence. The beginnings of miracles are often hidden in the smallest actions that spring from an open heart. When the relationships you hold bring you joy, do not take them for granted. Be grateful for every warm glance, every unexpected smile, every shared moment. These are living proofs that I am walking with you through real people, through real affections. That joy is not only for your delight, but as a reminder that love endures and nourishes your soul. For every laugh, every shared tear, every simple moment is my whisper that you are never alone. Treasure the truth that the love you receive is a reflection of my love for you. When you open your heart to love you, allow me to love through you. When you forgive, you echo my forgiveness from on high. When you stoop down to serve, you embody the spirit of sacrifice I have given. So do not shrink back when love calls you to humility, to give more than you receive, or to overcome the pride of self. For true love always transforms. It carries the power to renew and to set free. Remember, every relationship, sweet or bitter, is a place where you learn to be made whole. Misunderstandings teach you patience, conflicts teach you listening, and losses teach you the value of what remains. Do not see difficulties in relationships as burdens, but as opportunities to grow in love. This world does not need more walls of division. It needs bridges of connection, and you are one of those called to build them. As you enter every relationship with gratitude, your heart will expand and your life will grow richer. True joy does not lie in whether others return your love, but in the fact that you have chosen to love regardless. Then your heart is freed from calculation and fear, released to give unconditionally. It is there you find a deep peace, a peace no world can take away, and from that place you become light, warmth, and hope for those wandering in the shadows of loneliness. Think of those who once passed through your life, perhaps only briefly, yet leaving an indelible mark. They showed you a glimpse of love, and through them I reminded you that you are worthy of being loved. In turn, you too must become someone who leaves a good mark in another's life. Do not dismiss small acts, a word of encouragement, a look of compassion, a hand held in weakness. These may become the strength that helps another endure their darkest day. You may not know it, but each kindness is a seed sown into the soul, destined one day to blossom into hope. Above all, never forget that love is never wasted. Even when rejected, even when unanswered, love still holds value because it reflects my very nature. When you love, you are living true to the deepest design of your being. Believe that every act of love you give is never lost. It remains within your soul and within the memory of others. And if you remain steadfast in sowing love, you will reap a harvest of joy, peace, and unbreakable bonds. This is the path leading you to wholeness, to true freedom, and to a life overflowing with meaning. My beloved child, the days ahead will not pass gently like a quiet river, but will surge like waves breaking on the shore, urgent and fierce, to test your courage and your faith. Do not be surprised when all around you seems to tremble, for within those tremors I am refining you as gold in the fire. Gold does not lose value in the furnace. It becomes purer, brighter, more precious. Likewise, through trials, I do not intend your collapse, but the removal of all that is temporary: fear, pride, doubt, so that only the true self remains, the one I designed from the beginning. Your relationships, too, will be tested in this fire to reveal which love is enduring, which bonds are truly founded on faith and grace. They will not be destroyed, but made stronger, purer, and more lasting than ever before. Therefore, stand firm, do not give up. Though winds howl and storms rage, you still have me beside you. I am always with you, sheltering, lifting, guiding your every step. Believe with certainty that I will never abandon you, never leave you to walk alone in the dark. Those moments you thought most lonely were the very moments I carried you on my shoulders. This is not a time to shrink back, but a time to rise to face and overcome trials. In hardship, you will learn wisdom. No book can teach courage, no school can instill, and steadfastness no experience apart from trial can give. This is the time for you to receive my wisdom, to walk in the fullness of the blessings I prepared for you from the beginning. Trust in me, not with your lips alone, but with your heart and your actions. When you entrust yourself, you will see my hand move in ways that leave no doubt of my love and power in your life. I will open doors you thought forever shut. I will restore relationships you thought broken beyond repair. I will turn what you saw as failure into the foundation for lasting success. Everything I do is for your good, not only that you may overcome, but that you may grow stronger through it. So walk with confidence, for you do not walk alone. My presence is your fortress, your guiding light, the hand that holds yours. Do not fear the unseen, for I have known the end from the beginning. Do not doubt the path, for I myself laid it out. And do not hesitate before hardships, for it is within them that I will reveal my power. Keep your eyes fixed on what truly matters. While the world around you clamors with temptations and noise, I want you to discern what is worthy of your heart and what is fleeting. Ambition, desire, praise, and fear will all try to distract you. Yet you must remember the purpose I have set before you. Do not let the glitter of the world eclipse the torch of truth. Do not let the clamor drown out the gentle whisper of my voice within your soul. My child, deception in this world may be vast, subtle, alluring, hard to discern, but be assured my truth is greater still. It never changes, never fades with time, never bows to power. When you place your trust in me, deception cannot carry you away, for the light of truth exposes all falsehood. Stand firm on this foundation that you may not be swayed by the winds of lies, but may discern clearly between what is real and false, between light and darkness. Trust in me, for I am your refuge. When storms arise, run to me and you will find safety. When your heart is restless, come to me and you will find peace. When your strength is spent, come to me and I will renew you. I am strength that never runs dry, the fountain that never ceases. You need not rely on your own power, for it will fade quickly, but my strength endures forever. Above all, remember that I am your ever-present help in trouble. I am not only there when you rejoice, succeed, or stand on heights, but also when you sit in the dark valley, exhausted, unable to go on. It is then that you will know my help is real, near, and powerful. I never leave you to face trials alone, but always give timely aid. Therefore, be strong and courageous. The coming days will test you, but they will also confirm your faith. They will reveal more of my hand, more of my love, more of my faithfulness toward you. Walk not in fear, but in the confidence of a child whose father reigns supreme. And when you have overcome, you will look back and see that every trial was but a stepping stone, drawing you closer to me, illuminating my love and granting you the fullness of the blessing I promised. My beloved child, as each day closes, let your heart rest in the sweet peace I give. Do not carry the worries, stumbles, or unfinished things of today into tomorrow's burden. Breathe gently, release your cares, and remember that in my embrace you are loved more fully than your mind can imagine. That love surpasses every measure of the world, for it flows from the source of eternity. I have promised never to leave you, and that promise never changes, though heaven and earth fade, though mountains shift. Believe with certainty that even when you feel lost, I am there, protecting, comforting, patiently, waiting for your heart to return to its true refuge. When your soul is weighed with anxieties, let my words be the light guiding your steps. My word is the lamp in darkness, the compass when you are unsure of the way. If you keep it in your heart, you will feel an unseen strength carrying you through life's steep paths. Do not fear your own imperfection, for my love does not rest upon your perfection, but upon my unchanging faithfulness. All I ask is that you trust fully and walk in the gentle leading I always give. My cherished child, I call you to draw near through prayer, for prayer is the breath of the soul, the stream that unites your heart with mine. When you pray, you are not merely speaking words, you are opening a sacred space where you can pour out what is deepest within. I long for this intimacy, not because I need to know more of you, but because I want you to learn to live in my presence. Prayer is the bridge across the abyss of anxiety, the path to lasting peace, the sacred meeting place where you find wisdom and renewed strength. Know this: in every whispered word, even in your sighs, I listen. When words fail, your tears become a language I understand. Prayer is not only asking, but dialogue where you also hear my gentle reminders, guidance, and encouragement. If you let your heart be still, you will hear my tender voice, not always in noise, but often in quiet, like a soft breeze. My child, I want to teach you to pray, especially for the relationships I have given you, for they are not only blessings for you, but also instruments for my love to reach others. Pray for the patience to love even when you are hurt. Pray to learn forgiveness, for forgiveness not only frees others, but also frees you from chains of bitterness. Pray for my wisdom to guide you in building, nurturing, and preserving every bond. In my eyes, these relationships are precious, for they mirror the communion I have established with you. Do not think prayer is only for times of crisis or hardship. Prayer is the constant breath, the rhythm woven into every moment. Come to me in sorrow, but also come in joy in the smallest details of daily life. When you give thanks even for the simplest things, a smile, a breath, sunlight, or a hand in yours, you will find your heart growing ever more sensitive to my presence. My beloved child, prayer does not only change circumstances, but more importantly, it transforms you. When you pray, you allow my will to be united with yours, so that you may learn to see all things through my eyes. Prayer teaches you humility, for you realize that you can do nothing apart from me. It teaches you patience, because some things take time to bear fruit. It teaches you trust, for there are moments when I do not answer in the way you expect, but I always respond with what is best for you. Remember that prayer is the most powerful weapon you can wield in the battles of life. When the dark forces of despair or doubt surround you, lift up your prayer like an arrow flying straight into the heavens. I will strengthen you, I will clothe you with the armor of peace, and you will stand firm even in the midst of storms. Prayer keeps you clinging to me, but it also transforms you from within, making you strong and filled with love. My child, in every relationship, let prayer be your foundation. When you love someone, do not worry for them, only with your own strength, but lift them up in prayer. When there is conflict, instead of letting anger consume you, kneel and lay it all before me. When you do not know how to heal the wounds of another, let prayer become the stream of grace flowing into their hearts. In this way, you will realize that you are never alone in nurturing love, for I am the inexhaustible source that sustains the flame. My dear one, prayer is never in vain. Every whisper, every holy thought, every hidden longing you lift to me is received. Some prayers I answer immediately, while others require you to wait. Waiting is not meant to disappoint you, but to teach your heart patience, to strengthen your spirit, and so that when the answer comes, you will treasure it all the more. I never ignore your cry, nor do I ever leave you to struggle alone. Beloved child, pray with sincerity, for I do not seek eloquent words, but a heart that is true. Even if you utter only a brief phrase, if it flows from the depths of your being, I receive it with joy. Do not hesitate to bring me even the smallest details of your life, for I care about them all. Like a father listening to his little one, I listen to you with boundless love and patience. You may pray at any time and any place. No elaborate ritual is needed, only a heart turned toward me. As you walk through the noisy marketplace of life, you can close your eyes for a moment and whisper to me. As you sit alone in the stillness of night, you can pour out all your burdens into my arms. I am present everywhere, never distant, and prayer becomes your unceasing companionship. See prayer as the ceaseless breath of the soul. Each breath is a prayer, each heartbeat a hymn of praise. When you live in this rhythm, you will see that peace no longer depends on outward circumstances, but flows from within, where you and I are forever united. My child, I urge you to let my words guide you each day, and let prayer be the stream that nourishes your soul. When you end the day in peace and begin the new day in prayer, you will walk without fear, knowing that I am always there to uphold and guide you. Continue this journey with an open heart, for my love for you never runs dry, and my grace is renewed for you every morning. Begin by quieting your heart, setting aside all worries, all distractions, all the noise around you. This world is filled with clamor, urgency, and endless demands, but you need a place of stillness where your soul can rest and your heart can hear my whisper. It is in that silence, when you pause in the relentless flow of time, that you will realize I am still there waiting, inviting you near. Silence is not emptiness, but a sacred space where you perceive my living presence. Therefore, when you enter into stillness, come with reverence, knowing that I am the Father who knows every thought, feels every heartbeat within you, and loves you with a love that never fades. Come to me with humility, for humility is the key that opens the door to true encounter. When you lower yourself, you will see clearly your smallness and the vastness of my grace. When you kneel down, it is then that you are lifted up. Pride always builds walls that block intimacy with me, but a humble heart is like soft soil, ready to absorb the rain of my blessing. Let your heart be tender, let your spirit yield, and let your words flow from the truest place within you. I do not seek finely crafted speeches or polished requests. I long to hear your genuine cry, even if it is only a sigh, a hidden tear. When you come before me, begin with thanksgiving, for gratitude is the foundation of all true prayer. A thankful heart is like sweet fragrance rising before my throne, pleasing to me, and reminding you that you live in unceasing blessing. Say, Father, I thank you for the life I have today, for the breath in my lungs, for the light of the morning sun, for the quiet night to rest. The more you give thanks, the more you realize your life is filled with goodness. Gratitude diminishes complaint and lessens demands, replacing them with joy and peace. Thanksgiving opens the door for me to enter, and when you are thankful, your heart grows lighter and hope overflows. Say to me, Father, I thank you for the relationships you have placed in my life. I am grateful for the love, the joy, and the companionship they bring. I thank you that through them I not only share joy but also learn patience, forgiveness, and deeper love. I see your hand in every encounter, for no relationship is random, all are woven into your wise design. Each person who has crossed my path, whether briefly or for many years, has given me something precious, and for that I thank you. In giving thanks, you will see that love itself is the gift I entrust to you, and your joy is made full in every connection. Do not be afraid to let gratitude flow like an unending stream, for every word of thanks draws you nearer to my heart. Give thanks for family where you are nurtured and embraced. Give thanks for friends who have walked with you through trials. Give thanks even for relationships that brought pain, for they too shaped your maturity. Gratitude does not deny pain, but finds value within it. When you are thankful, darkness loses its power over you, for the light of faith and love shines forth. In thanksgiving, remember even the smallest things of daily life. Be grateful for the sudden smile of a stranger, for a warm greeting, for the seemingly simple moments that touch your soul. Life is not built only on great events, but woven from countless little details. When you learn to be grateful for the smallest things, you will never feel impoverished, for you are always surrounded by grace. Let your heart expand, for gratitude makes it blossom like a flower, and its fragrance spreads not only to me but to those around you. Gratitude makes you gentle, forgiving, and compassionate. Others will feel the warmth from you, and they too will be encouraged to give thanks. Thus, the circle of love and grace grows ever wider, transforming entire communities. I want you to be a torchbearer of that light, and it begins with a grateful heart. Remember, gratitude is not only for when all is well, but is even more precious in times of hardship. When you give thanks in trial, you declare that I am greater than your circumstances, that my love and power are not limited by what you see. In that moment, your faith is strengthened, and your heart finds peace beyond understanding. Thanksgiving in hardship is not easy, but it is the strongest witness that you live in absolute trust. Therefore, when you begin your prayer, do not start with a list of requests, but with thanksgiving. For thanksgiving realigns your heart, helping you see that you have already received more than you can imagine. From that foundation, every other petition will rise in humility, in trust, and free from selfishness. Beloved child, let gratitude become the rhythm of your life. Let each morning begin with thanks and each night close with praise. Then your life will become an endless hymn, a song of glory to the Father, and your heart will be forever radiant. I long to hear your thanksgiving, not because I need it, but because it is the very best gift for your soul. When you give thanks, you live in truth, and truth sets you free. My dear one, I know each person I have placed in your life. None of them came by accident, none walked with you by chance, but all are within my wise and loving plan. I want you to remember them, to call them by name, and to give thanks. For in gratitude, your heart will recognize the true worth of these relationships I have given. Think of your parents who sacrificed, upheld, and patiently guided you from childhood. Think of your spouse, whom I joined to you in a deep bond to share both joy and tears. Think of friends who stood beside you when you fell, who encouraged you when you thought you could not rise. Think of teachers who sowed seeds of knowledge and wisdom, opening your eyes to see life more fully. Think of colleagues who journeyed with you through difficulties, leaving behind the marks of cooperation and perseverance. And yes, even think of those who hurt you, for through them I taught you forgiveness, humility, and patience. My child, as you begin to call them out, as you say, I thank you, Father, for my mother, for the friend who lifted me, for the brother who guided me, for the spouse who walked by my side, your heart will be filled with gratitude. That gratitude will transform the way you see others. Instead of noticing only flaws and shortcomings, you will behold my grace, my love reflected in them. And in gratitude, you will learn to cherish, nurture, and guard these relationships as the precious treasures they truly are. After you have given thanks, I call you to enter into a time of confession. For humility and sincerity are the keys to a fruitful prayer life. Do not fear when you look at your mistakes, for I have not come to condemn, but to forgive and to renew. I long to hear your own words, for when you confess, you are revealing a genuine heart, and in that honesty, I will pour out abundant grace. Speak to me with all sincerity, my Father. I confess that I have not always cherished the relationships you have given me as I ought. I have let pride keep me from humbling myself to apologize. I have allowed selfishness to overshadow the desire to give. I have been distracted and drawn away from precious moments where I should have been present. Father, many times I have spoken words that wound instead of words that heal. I have let anger control my tongue, letting my words become arrows piercing others' hearts. At times I have clung to bitterness, held tightly to resentment, instead of opening my hands to forgive. Lord, I ask for your mercy and forgiveness. Wash my heart clean, take away what is defiled, and make me new. My child, as those words leave your lips, you are opening the door for healing to enter. I will never reject a humble and contrite heart. I will pour forth living waters to cleanse every stain within you. I will place within you a new heart, softer, wider, more able to love and to forgive. You will feel the weight lifted, peace overflowing, and hope rekindled. Confession is not meant to imprison you in guilt, but to set you free. When you admit your shortcomings and failures, you are laying down your proud self, stepping out of falsehood and walking in the light. And it is that very light that will set you free. Your prayer life will come alive, for nothing will stand as a wall between you and me. Remember, my child, I do not seek perfection, I seek sincerity. When you come to me with honesty, I will do what you cannot. By your own strength, I will transform your heart from within. And from that transformed heart, you will cherish relationships more deeply, use words to build instead of destroy, live in gratitude instead of indifference. So begin today. Take quiet time, name each person I have placed in your life, and give thanks for the ways they have touched your heart. Then step into humility, confess your shortcomings, and allow me to pour new grace upon you. From that place you will rise with a renewed heart, a fruitful prayer life, and a love that reflects my own heart. My beloved, remain steadfast in prayer, for it is through perseverance that your faith grows and your heart is shaped in trust. Perseverance is not merely repeated action, but the posture of a soul that places absolute confidence in its Father, knowing that even when results are unseen, it continues to seek and continues to cry out. When answers do not come immediately, do not lose heart, for I am never silent without reason. In my silence I am working, weaving together good things you cannot yet perceive with your limited sight. It is perseverance that draws you out of comfort, teaches you to wait, and in waiting you discover the true value of faith. Every time you kneel, every word you whisper, every tear you silently offer, none of it is wasted. They rise like sweet incense before my throne, bringing me delight, for they reveal that your heart is turned toward me, that you have chosen me as your refuge. I rejoice when you draw near, not because you bring me something, but because you open yourself for me to touch your soul, to pour love, healing, and strength. Every prayer of yours is a living sacrifice, not of wealth or ritual, but of the devotion of your heart. And no gift pleases me more than a faithful heart that always returns to its Father. Continue to pray not only for relationships, but bring every aspect of your life to me. From the great matters of future career or health, to the small details of daily living, a decision, a meeting, even hidden fears. Nothing is too small for my care, and nothing is too great for my power. I care not only for the needs you see, but even those you do not expect. When you lift everything up, you are placing your whole life in my hands, and that very act frees you from anxiety. For I am the one who carries the burden. Your part is simply to trust and to walk in peace. Be assured I am faithful. Not a single word I have spoken will ever fall to the ground. Though time may stretch longer than you desire, though the path may twist more than you imagine, the outcome is always what is best for you. Remember, my answer does not always match your expectations, because I see the whole picture while you only see a fragment. You may ask for one thing, yet I give another, and later you will see that my choice was wiser and richer. When I say not yet, it is not rejection, but an invitation to patience. When I say no, it is not indifference, but protection from harm. And when I say yes, it is the fullness of time, the perfect moment when blessing is poured out. Trust me still, for faith is the bridge that connects you to my power. No prayer is wasted, for even when results are not outwardly visible, inwardly, you are already being transformed. Persevering prayer does not only change circumstances, it first changes your own heart. It strengthens you, teaches patience, and makes you more like me. When you pray for relationships, you are placing those people into my hands, and I can use your love as a tool of healing and unity. When you pray for the future, you are opening the door for me to guide you to the right path. When you pray for yourself, you are inviting me to enter, to transform, and to recreate you from within. My beloved child, see prayer as the breath of your soul. Just as the body cannot live without air, your soul will wither without prayer. Prayer is not mere ritual, but intimate communion between father and child. It is where you pour out, where you let go, where you are heard, and where you are upheld. Do not let the rush of life steal this precious time, for when you lack prayer, you are easily swayed by temptation, easily swept away by illusions. But when you remain in prayer, you will stand firm, your heart anchored in truth, and you will have strength to endure every trial. I want you to learn perseverance not only when you need something, but also when all seems calm. Do not seek me only in crisis, then forget me in peace. Come to me daily like a child who runs to its father, not to ask for anything, but simply to be near and to feel loved. Perseverance in prayer deepens and sweetens the relationship between us, until prayer is no longer duty but delight, not a burden but a great privilege. Hold firm in faith that I hear every prayer, even the silent groans that cannot be put into words. I understand beyond what you can express, and I respond with a love surpassing knowledge. You are never alone in this journey, for I walk with you, I uphold you, I shield you. When you pray, you create space for me to act, and I have never failed to bring good to those who love me. Therefore, my child, continue in prayer. Do not let discouragement halt your steps. Do not let disappointment silence you. Do not let doubt steal your faith. But be steadfast, be faithful, and let each prayer be a step that draws you closer to my heart. You will see not only your relationships, but your entire life transformed by the power of prayer. Every dark corner will be lit, every wound healed, every fear replaced by faith, and each day will become an opportunity to experience my wondrous love. One day, as you look back, you will see that it was perseverance in prayer that marked your journey of maturity. Your faith will no longer be fragile, your heart no longer easily shaken, but strong and full of peace. Then you will not only be a receiver, but also a giver, able to encourage, support, and walk alongside those just beginning in faith. You will become a living witness of prayer's transforming power, and your life will rise as an unending song of thanksgiving, honoring the one who has always been faithful, always loving, always with you. My beloved child, I rejoice to see your longing to walk deeper in humility and truth. Now I will take you further, that you may understand the strength of gratitude and sincere confession. For these two are like wings that lift your soul higher above the invisible chains that once bound you. Open wide your heart, let every word of thanksgiving, every confession resound not as ritual but as the true breath of your soul. Then you will touch the freedom and blessing I have long prepared for you. First of all, continue to recall those whom I have placed in your life. Call their names not merely to remember, but to remind your heart that you have never walked alone. Perhaps you remember an old friend who smiled and listened to you on the days when the whole world seemed to turn away. Perhaps you think of a teacher who planted in your mind the seeds of knowledge and the belief that you could reach far. Perhaps you recall a colleague who did not abandon you in the difficult hours of work, but shared the burden with you. Even those who once caused you pain may come to mind. Give thanks, for through them you learned forgiveness, patience, and compassion. When you call their names in gratitude, you are scattering flowers along the path of memory, and that memory itself becomes a song of praise lifted to me. Gratitude is the medicine that heals the soul, the flame that shines in darkness. When you are grateful, you no longer dwell on what is lacking, but recognize the blessings already present around you. Gratitude allows you to see your parents not only as those who scolded you, but as hearts that exhausted themselves to raise you. Gratitude allows you to see your spouse not merely as a flawed person, but as the gift of companionship, I entrusted to you so that you both might grow together. Gratitude allows you to see your friends not simply as passing faces, but as milestones I set along the way to remind you that love still exists. After you have named and given thanks, step once more into confession. Do not fear repetition, for repetition is not in vain. It is the process of digging deeper, allowing the seed to truly take root. Say to me, Father, I realize that many times I did not treasure the present moment. I allowed work worries and ambitions to make me miss hours beside my loved ones, to miss opportunities to speak words of love, to miss both the tears and the smiles you gave me through them. I allowed pride to rule, unwilling to apologize, though I knew I was wrong. I was selfish, looking only at my own needs and forgetting the needs of others. I spoke words that wounded, I kept silent when I should have encouraged. I clung to resentment, letting it wither my heart instead of allowing love to heal it. Father, I ask for your mercy and forgiveness. Wash me clean in the pure stream of grace. Renew my heart so that I may live humbly, giving love and forgiveness. My child, when you pray this way, you are placing your heart upon the altar of honesty. I see your tears, I hear your sobs, and I never turn my face away. In that very moment I draw near, I wipe away your tears and whisper, you are forgiven, you are made new. I do not keep a record of your faults, I do not hold the past against you, but I set you free so that you may step into a new beginning. Imagine, beloved child, your heart as a garden. When you are without gratitude, the garden dries up, filled with weeds. When you withhold confession, the soil cracks and cannot welcome seeds. But when you give thanks, drops of grace fall like rain, softening the ground. When you confess, I remove the stones and thorns, and from there seeds of love, forgiveness, and grace may sprout, grow, and bear fruit. The harvest is not only for you, but for everyone who enters your garden, parents, spouse, children, friends, even strangers. Remember, humility is the key that opens the door of blessing. The proud cannot receive, for they believe they already have enough. But when you humble yourself in confession, you admit that you need me, that you cannot walk alone, and it is in that very moment that grace pours down like a mighty waterfall. From then on, your prayer life grows powerful, no longer dry words, but a rushing stream that connects you with me. Look back at how many times I have forgiven you. How often you strayed, yet I patiently waited. How often you betrayed love, yet I opened my arms. So then learn to forgive others, for the forgiveness you receive is not for you to hoard, but to share. You cannot live in freedom while holding others captive in resentment. Release them, and you too will be released. My child, this journey does not end in a day. Each day you must name your blessings. Each day you must confess your shortcomings. That is the rhythm of prayer, the rhythm of a soul that lives in the light. And within that rhythm you will find freedom, peace, and a fruitful life. Beloved, I have many more things to reveal to you, so that you may understand that gratitude and confession are not a single moment, but a continuous flow throughout life. When you learn to live with thankfulness and honesty, you open a new path for yourself, a path that leads to renewal each day. Your soul becomes lighter, your words gentler, and your relationships healed and strengthened. This does not happen overnight. It is a process like a garden that must be tended continually so that fruit may abound. Remember that every person I place in your life is part of the larger tapestry I am weaving. When you give thanks and call their names, you reconnect the pieces, seeing that life is not fragmented. An old friend may remind you of loyalty. One who hurt you teaches forgiveness. A brother in faith teaches you to support one another. And when you look back, you will see that all bear my imprint, all have shaped you into who you are. Gratitude is not merely words, but a way of life. A grateful person does not easily fall into complaint, for their eyes always see grace. A grateful person does not anger quickly, for they know that every difficulty carries opportunity. A grateful person does not dwell in bitterness, for their heart is filled with the awareness of being loved and cared for. When you walk in this attitude, you become a source of encouragement to those around you. Others will look at you and feel peace, feel uplifted, for gratitude transforms the atmosphere around you. Once you have learned to live in gratitude, you must maintain the habit of confession. Confession is not a sign of failure, but of maturity. It shows that you are brave enough to face the truth, humble enough to admit fault, and trusting enough to place your hope in my forgiveness. Each time you confess, you are cleansing the dust of your soul. Just as a room must be swept daily, your heart must be purified continually, so it will not be covered by the dust of sin, pride, or selfishness. I know that many times you feel ashamed to admit the darkness within, but my child, I am never surprised by your weaknesses. I knew them even before you spoke, yet I still long to hear your voice, for that very act sets you free. When you say, "Father, I was wrong," I hear the heartbeat of humility. When you confess, "I hurt others," I see the seed of transformation. And when you plead, "Cleanse me," I pour out streams of grace, renewing your soul. Imagine that each confession is like laying down a stone to build a bridge that draws you closer to me. As the stones are set one upon another, a strong bridge is formed, allowing you to cross any river, any chasm between us. This bridge will never collapse, for it is built upon the foundation of humility and truth. After gratitude and confession, you will enter a new season, renewal. Renewal is not a fleeting feeling, but a change rooted deep within. Your heart will become softer, more sensitive to the needs of others. Your eyes will shine brighter, perceiving grace in the smallest details. Your hands will be quicker to give, no longer clinging tightly for yourself. And your life itself will become a testimony reflecting the love and grace I have bestowed. You will also leave a legacy. This legacy is not material wealth or fleeting success, but the memories of love you have sown in others. When someone remembers the encouragement you once spoke, that is your legacy. When someone feels strengthened by your embrace, that is your legacy. When someone is healed through your forgiveness, that is your legacy. Such a legacy never disappears. It echoes from generation to generation like an unending song. My child, never forget that I am always with you on this journey. Each time you give thanks, I smile. Each time you confess, I open my arms in forgiveness. Each time you are renewed, I rejoice. And each time you share love, I am glorified. So continue to walk in this rhythm: gratitude, confession, renewal, giving. Let your life become a hymn offered to me, a hymn that never ceases. Trials will remain, but when you walk in gratitude and humility, nothing can bring you down. Though the world is full of deceit, my love is greater. Though darkness surrounds, my light still shines. Though you are weak, my strength upholds you. Be assured of this: when you live in truth and love, you will never be alone, and you will experience a prayer life rich in fruit. My beloved, imagine prayer as a journey, not a fleeting destination. Along this journey, there will be smooth roads, steep climbs, and even dark valleys where no path seems visible. But do not let these difficulties hold you back. Every steady step, every persistent prayer is like a stone laid to build a firm road leading you closer to my heart. If you stop too soon, you will never see the beauty waiting at the end. But if you persevere, you will see my glory revealed in your life. Perseverance is not always easy. There will be days when your heart feels dry, your prayers heavy, your emotions cold, and you sense you are only repeating lifeless words. Yet even such prayers hold value, for they bear witness to your faithfulness. Just as a farmer patiently sows seed and tends the field day after day before the shoots appear, so too will your persistent prayers one day yield a harvest. Faith is not measured by fleeting emotions, but by the steadfastness of your commitment to me. As you continue to pray, you open the door for me to enter every detail of your life. I do not only desire your great burdens, but also the smallest matters. Tell me about the trivial worries of the day, about the sorrows no one else knows, about the simple joys you just experienced. Do not hesitate to lift even what seems unimportant, for in sharing them you allow me to truly walk with you. Let me enter the hidden corners you conceal, so I may bring light and healing. When you learn to bring everything before me, you will find that you are never alone in any circumstance. Prayer is not a transaction, but a relationship. It is not like presenting a list of requests and waiting for me to fulfill them. Prayer is intimate conversation where you can pour out your heart, listen, be corrected, and be embraced by love. Do not think that only visible results prove prayer is answered. Even when nothing seems changed outwardly, you are already being transformed within. Perseverance in prayer softens your heart, aligns your will with mine, and teaches you to see life through eyes of faith. When you pray for others, you not only help them but expand your own heart to love more deeply. Every prayer for a loved one, a friend, even someone who irritates you, draws you closer to compassion. Know this: sometimes I may not change that person's circumstances immediately, but I change how you see them. Then you can become my instrument to bring encouragement, forgiveness, or companionship they need. The power of prayer can restore broken relationships and soften hardened hearts with love. Do not fear when you do not know what to pray. Sometimes the pain is too deep for words, or the weariness leaves you speechless. Remember that my Spirit intercedes for you with groans too deep to be expressed, and I understand beyond what you can utter. Simply coming into my presence is already a prayer. I do not seek perfect words. I only desire sincerity of heart. At times, a whisper of "Father, help me" is enough to move my heart to act. See perseverance in prayer as a school where you are trained to maturity. In this school, you learn patience, faith, humility, and surrender. No one becomes skilled overnight, just as no one becomes strong in faith without discipline. Each day of persistent prayer is my way of shaping you, teaching you to trust in the unseen, and building an unshakable foundation. Be patient, for I have never ignored a single prayer. You may have prayed for months or years without seeing results, but believe that every word you spoke is engraved in my heart. None is lost, no tear is wasted. I keep them all and use them at the appointed time. Remain steadfast, and when the right moment comes, you will see a harvest far beyond what you hoped for. As you wait in perseverance, nurture hope. Hope is the lamp that prevents despair's darkness from swallowing you. Trust that my answers, whether yes, no, or wait, are always expressions of love and wisdom. When you trust in this way, peace will fill your heart even before you see the outcome. And that peace is the seal of my presence within you. I want you to know that persevering prayer not only transforms individuals, but it can also transform an entire generation. History has witnessed countless examples of those who remained steadfast in prayer, and through them great transformations took place. You too are invited to become part of that transformation. Though you may feel small, your prayer carries power because it connects you to the Almighty. Remember, the more faithfully you persevere, the more clearly His power will be revealed in this world. In the end, my child, hold fast to joy in prayer. Do not see prayer merely as an obligation, but regard it as a profound privilege. You are conversing with the Creator, listening to the loving Father, and dwelling in His holy presence. Let your heart rejoice each time you draw near, for there you will find rest, comfort, and strength to continue on the path ahead. As you remain steadfast, your life will be transformed at its very roots, and every aspect of your being will become a living testimony to the wondrous power of prayer. My child, in this very moment, open your heart and let the flow of your soul pour forth like a pure stream. Hold nothing back, fear no expression, and hesitate not to reveal both your weaknesses and your hopes. When you sincerely lift them up, your words rise like a fragrant offering before my throne. Now, with all your mind, your emotions, and your faith, pray to me with a heart full of love and reverence. Almighty God, creator of heaven, earth, and all that lives, I come before you in humility, offering my whole heart in earnest supplication. I ask you to teach me endurance in prayer, not only when the path is easy, but even when darkness falls and my soul is heavy. Grant me eyes of faith to see that you are still at work, attentive ears to hear your voice in the silence, and a courageous heart that does not shrink back in hardship. I long to draw near to you, to walk in your light, so that each day I may grow stronger in faith and love. O Father, who loves me more than life itself, I ask you to give me patience to wait in hope. At times I grow restless to see answers, yet help me trust that everything you grant comes in its appointed time. Keep me from despair when I see no results, and remind me that you are preparing something far greater than what I imagine. Shape my soul to align with your will, so that when I pray, I seek not only my own benefit, but your glory and blessing for those around me. Eternal Father of compassion, I pray that the relationships in my life may be covered with your love and peace. Heal the wounds that still bleed, restore the bonds that have been broken, and soften the hearts that remain hardened. Make me a bearer of light, willing to forgive, eager to seek reconciliation and a bridge instead of a wall. Let me see each person through the eyes of your love, so that I may love them as you have loved me. Everlasting God, I pray for strength to endure in intercession for this world. Teach me to weep for the suffering, to cry out for the weak, and to sacrifice time to stand in prayer for my community. Use my prayers to bring hope to the hopeless, healing to the wounded, and to open doors for blessings to overflow upon the earth. May I be a small instrument in your hand to bring about great transformation. Beloved Father, I pray that I myself may be transformed through the practice of prayer. Do not only change the circumstances around me, but first renew my soul from within. Remove selfishness, erase pride, and fill me with humility, gentleness, and compassion. Let every prayer I lift be not dry repetition, but a living stream drawing me closer to you, shaping me more and more into your likeness. Lord, who always listens and never slumbers, I entrust to you every dream and plan of my life. Guide each step, illuminate each decision, and open the doors that align with your good purpose. Keep me from following my own will, but teach me to surrender to your wise direction. Grant me courage to walk the narrow path, though it be hard, and perseverance to keep praying even when I do not yet understand your plan. Father, I pray for those I love. Protect them from harm, grant them peace, and lead them to discover the power of prayer. May they recognize that you are the only source of hope, and may their hearts be renewed so they find joy in you. Turn my prayers into seeds, sown into their souls, and in your time, let those seeds sprout, bloom, and bear fruit. Gracious Father, I pray that I may keep a fervent spirit even in trials. When I am weak, be my strength. When I doubt, fortify my faith. When I grow weary, be my resting place. Keep me from giving up when prayers seem unanswered, but remind me that you are deepening the roots of faith so I may stand firmer. Let my life be a witness to the transforming power of perseverance in prayer. Almighty God, I thank you for every good gift you have bestowed. I am grateful for life, for family, for friends, and for every breath I take each day. I praise you for the little joys, and even for the great trials, for all are opportunities to learn deeper trust in you. I offer you a heart full of gratitude, recognizing that my whole life is covered by your grace and love. My beloved Father, I thank you for prayers that have been answered, and also for those that remain unanswered. I understand that in every yes, no, and wait there is hidden wisdom and limitless love. I give thanks that you never abandoned me, but always watch over, care for, and guide me. Receive my praise, for you are ever faithful and never break your promises. Eternal One, I thank you for your boundless love that surpasses all understanding. I am grateful for your presence in lonely hours, for your comfort in times of sorrow, and for the hope you give in days of darkness. I cannot count the blessings you have poured out, but I inscribe them upon my heart and lift up my sincerest thanksgiving to you. Everlasting Father of compassion, I thank you for granting me the privilege of prayer, the gift of direct communion with the Creator. I am grateful that you listen, that you understand me better than I know myself, and that you always act for good. Through prayer, my life is transformed, my soul is healed, and my heart is filled with peace. May my entire life become an endless song of gratitude. I lift this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.